Welcome back to you, baby dolls. Welcoming you for another juicy episode. Bitcoin, 102,000 American dollars. It popped down near 101. What's actually going on? The monthly structure is still green, so we really do have nothing to worry about. I'm going to now show you the zoom up part we have here. Do you remember, friends? We did the little skitsy part where we are going the sideways before we go up. That seems to be what we're going through right now. Maybe there's another push-up, who knows, okay? If you want to know why did we sell off? Why did we sell off? Well, calm down, little retailer. The reason why we sold off is simply because there's actually no story. It's just that the US dollar ticked up overnight. That's it. The US dollar just went up. There you go. This is the weekly chart for the US dollar. We can actually put it down on a 4-hour one. Have a look. You see that? Oh, US dollar. You've started going up a bit. That's it. US dollar goes up and then just Bitcoin has like one red day. That's it. It's like a little correlation move. It's nothing really to be worried about. This is the US dollar on the weekly chart. Remember, its macro formation is still going down. It did come back, stab here. So yeah, hopefully over the year. I know this is like it's a weekly chart. Hopefully it does some sort of rejections and then it just starts going down by the end of the year. Remember, it's just got to finish lower. So everything's on track. Oil lower, US dollar lower. Hopefully gold stabilized. Are the rates coming down? Well, you know, still priced in 2 rate cuts, but they're doing the stealth QE. So remember, we have to basically be more flexible when it comes to our labeling of what quantitative easing money printing is, because the government is doing it in the background, as they always do, doing the global liquidity stuff, doing the pumperoonies, making sure that everything works. That seems to be what's going on. Here is the weekly chart of Bitcoin. We are still hanging around here. Might be a little bit of a while. I don't know if it's going to take this long or that long. That was torturous hell. Feels like we've been through a lot of pain. But look, during these times, friends, you see how everyone's like, we've got it in our mind now. We think, oh, now definitely it's going to be slow, or Bitcoin's definitely going to do a move. It's precisely at these moments where the beginning of a shock move starts. And it's not necessarily the shock move you're thinking about, where you're like, hey, I'm going to get shocked by this. No. That's the whole point of a shock is you have no idea what it is. I'll just throw something out here. Like Ethereum just starts charging up by itself, totally disconnect from Bitcoin. You know, like stuff like that can happen. Or like everything dumps and like Ethereum comes back, retraces the whole move and breaks a high. You know, like something like that weird starts to happen during these periods of time. But it's just because the domino that fell on Ethereum's back pretty much crushed it. So it's not like it's doing really good. It's just that, you know, we know that Ethereum's been getting cucked. So that's something to think about. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart out here. Remember, friends, I made my emergency breaking news updates that Willy Woo, crowd favorite, has called for Bitcoin dominance to go above 90%. So everyone knew, welcoming you, friends. So yes, the guy's got above 1 million subs, you know, early Bitcoin OG and stuff out here. I'll fade him every day of the week. Okay, I'll fade him every day of the week because there are 4 yearly candles that are green for Bitcoin dominance. And I know when you come into markets, you think, oh, I just keep following the money. I keep following the money. I keep following the money. No, that's how you get destroyed. You can't keep following the money. The money buys when things are getting destroyed. They don't buy when things have a perpetual motion into the sky. That's high prices. That's when retailers love to flock in, okay? And we can actually see that right now, like Michael Saylor buying more turbo leverage BTC and everything out here. It has been a very, very tough cycle, hasn't it? This is the others chart, others USD. We've done like this nice little, you can see it, it's starting to do that little curl up, which is actually nice. We are like way underperforming other cycles. I wonder if this is still going to hold up. I guess we'll see what we do, friends. Like it might have a big emphatic smash up to the moon by the end of the year. Could happen. One big shock move and that's it. It might do that. We don't know. Or it could be extended cycle. You know, so but the more we are continuing at this pace, it's like closing the gap for a nice staircase up. Like it has to be up only. All right. Also, to remind you, when we talk about up only, it's not, oh, you'll start feeling happy every 2 seconds. No, it's not that. When we look at up only, you can look at others BTC and look at the color of the candles on the month. All it has to do is directionally go in the green. I mean, the best example I could ever show you is look how trashy these candles are. You see that? That's nothing, right? But that was DeFi season in 2020. See, that wasn't a big distance, was it? It went from, I mean, check it out here. It literally, all it did was, friends, it went up 80%, right? Literally just 80% on this. This is nothing. Literally nothing. That was DeFi season. DeFi season had a mania. And yeah, there was a lot of money made. It was totally PvP. Anyone who bought literally any coin on Uniswap made money. No one even knew how to use Uniswap. Most people, friends, I learned about like Uniswap. It's kind of funny, man, because I was watching Chico Crypto. He made videos about Uniswap and I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. No idea. Because there was no season. Yeah, it was in 2020. He just kept talking about Uniswap, make her die, make her die, make her die. Every video, make her die, Uniswap, you make her die. I had no idea what the hell it did. No idea. Even I kept watching it like 10 times. I still had no idea what the hell was going on. Okay. But why? Because it took people to make a lot of money and then all the videos to be like, people are making money doing this. Oh my gosh. They're making millions of dollars. They're like, what? That's when I started paying attention. And that's when, if you look at Julie here, Sir Ivan on Tech Friends. So first you had 3 months of DeFi, pretty much all the insiders were in, or inside, just people who like trying and testing it. When we hit Julie, it was funny, the last 2 months, Ivan on Tech's videos really started cranking up popularity, huge, where he was like making his morning shows and he was saying, hey, if you're in crypto, you have to use Uniswap. He goes, you're not even really in crypto unless you use Uniswap. He goes, guys, this technology is like just out of this world. Like anybody can trade with anybody now. It's a decentralized exchange. It's just like the pinnacle of crypto, right? I'll never forget him talking like that. And I remember Chris, do you remember? Chris started sending me these audio messages like, bro, we got to get in this Uniswap, man. Look what Ivan talking about. I still remember those messages, man. And we still talk about that from time to time. Like, man, remember when Ivan was just telling us that? We still remember. That was actually true. And that was, but look what happened, friends. It was literally 1, 2, 3. Ivan starts talking about it, like the very end of June. Now it's Julie. It was basically the last 2 out of the 6 months. Yeah, because everything had been going up and up and up. Now, obviously, Ivan's not watching others BTC. Nobody's watching others BTC. I'm just showing you this. Remember, the chart reflects the emotions. Yeah, when the emotions keep going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, you're like, oh crap, you're going to have the biggest come down of your life. It's literally like drinking a lot of alcohol, taking a lot of drugs. You're frying your brain, right? So that's what happened here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, this is zombie virus, dude. This is wild. Friends, isn't that crazy? Zombie virus month was a green others BTC candle. Look, March. That's when it came to August. That was the top. You know, friends, it was so devastating. Chainlink has still never even remotely come up to that. Chainlink is still like 90% down from the top it made on Link ETH here. Okay, that's how devastatingly high these things went. And many other altcoins literally just never recovered. So like, I guess like Chainlink is like one of the 50,000 coins, 5,000 that like maybe are still around. You see that? So when you're talking about euphoria and stuff, okay, well, look at our one. Okay, 1 candle. All right, literally 1 candle. So let's see what happens, right? Honestly, friends, it would be nice if for something like if I want to be really sure we're going to get an extended cycle, if you give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If our 6th candle stops like here, that's still lower than the 2021 high. So this number is 30%. If it stops there, I go, oh yeah, cycle's not over. But it's gonna do the pain part where it rinses everyone out before we go up again. All right. The tough one will be if this literally goes up 6 months in a row or even 7 months and it goes up to near the high. That's going to be the super tough one, right? Because is the market just giving you a chance to get back at the top of the range, or are you actually going to do an extended cycle? Well, since I believe a cycle probably is, but if you got something like that, you're definitely getting rid of your Jeet stack. I don't care. Get something out, dude. You just did 6 green months in a row. You have to, like, that statistically, every single time you got that, yes, the altcoin versus BTC ratio are going to do a bit of a push on the way down, okay, because you've had a nice run up. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes to that. Now, the lovely stonk market has done a nice push up, right? Look at that big giant movement. It's just come back, friends. There you go. All the tariff stuff is done out here. So you just look at the price action of the market and that'll tell you, explain to you what the news is, right? If it's good or bad. So let's crack on with some news, which I'll go with you now. Treasury Secretary Bessent says we want a decoupling with China for strategic necessities. Now, friends, Treasury Secretary Bessent, we should pay more attention to what he says more than Jay Powell. Okay? Even Arthur Hayes said he yawns when Jay Powell talks. Okay? And yes, this Bulbasaur is actively mogging you in real time right now. Okay? So, yeah, that's big call, right? Like, nothing Jay Powell says even matters. It's all to Treasury Secretary. So why does that? Because remember, Arthur's looking at their accounts. And you can see, he's like, oh my gosh, everything's coming from the government. So the government does the stuff and it's telling the secretary, it's telling what they want to happen. And then, you know, they're pretending to be neutral and stuff out here. What I'm going to do, friends, I'm going to gently crank for you some music. Just you and me. Waiting for this Bitcoin dominance, huh? We are waiting for this Bitcoin dominance to go down. Remember, it'll go down when ETH BTC starts climbing back up. So hopefully it does continue there. Treasury Secretary Bessent says US wants China to rebalance its economy more towards consumption. Which is, just so you know, friends, so America is a consumption economy. Yeah, they used to be the producers of stuff. That's why everybody's like, no, we should produce all our stuff. You can't, man. Your wages are too high. You literally can't. Yeah, if you do it, everything costs too much. You don't want to be making like little baby, you know, like McDonald's Happy Meal kids toys. In that you just don't want it. You say you want it, you don't actually want it. Okay, when you actually just see how low the wages are and everything. Yeah. So America is the services based now. Yeah, services and financial services. Well, China for the past 30 years, they've done all the producing. Okay, that's why everyone's like, oh no, China makes all the goods. Like, just chill out. Okay, like what goods, man? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have the guns and the UFO tech you don't have much. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, can't get my Nike shoes anymore. Who gives a shit? Okay, oh no, how are we gonna live without the Nike shoes? By the way, they come from Vietnam. So you know what I mean? Like I know, oh no, everything comes from China. It's okay. All right, it's not what everyone thinks. Now, China is not consumption. Yep, China is making everything else out here, right? America's a consumption. Yes, they're consuming everything. So what's happening is, as China's getting richer, all right, it's everyone thinks, oh, China. Yeah, just chill out, friends. Literally, we're seeing it already. The middle class Chinese, they're now looking at these factory jobs going, that's for peasants, dude. I'm not doing that. Straight away. It's all humans, friends. We're all human. You make money like, yeah, I don't want to work waiter jobs. I don't want to work these wages up. Screw this, okay? Their wages have got climbing up, right? So if I just show you now the GDP per capita, it's a good measure of the wealth of the average person. For China, it's 12,600 US. Okay, so it's literally, it's in the final like 2x before it's like, okay, we can't actually make all this stuff anymore, right? It's literally just the final 2x away. So it's like, I'm not joking, it's like another, they're going at 5 or 6%. It's about 15 years, 10 to 15 years. Yeah, no one in China, they're making nothing anymore. Now, it doesn't mean that they just start shifting more to consumption based. So then you go, wait. If China's not going to make the stuff, who is? Well, shout out to the Vietnamese Dong kid. See, look at Vietnam's GDP per capita. It's only 4,200. So that's what's happening. Vietnam, India, friends, India GDP per capita is only 2,400. So that's where everything's going. Vietnam to India. That's what obviously that's happening in the future. So in the next 10, 15 years, China, their GDP per capita is not going to be 12,400 US anymore. Right? It's like, it's an average measure. You can actually, it's a really, really good metric. You see that average, how rich or poor a person is. Also, if you're traveling to another country, like that's how you know, right? If you're, let's say you're from America. So USA's GDP per capita, it's 80,000, right? So if you go to a country where their GDP per capita is like 8,000, yeah, you'll know, oh, wow, you are 10 times richer than the average person there. You come across there. So if you earn a wage of like $80,000 US per year in America, okay, that equivalent job will give you $8,000, the same purchasing power relative in that country. It's a really good measure out here. You can compare countries and stuff Yeah, so everything goes to China and stuff, and India and Vietnam over time. And yeah, they all know this, by the way. So like that's why friends, when these economic shocks and stuff come out, did they all know these things? I'm telling you now, friends, there is some non-human intelligence intervention with this country stuff. There is. Like, they just, how humans somehow manage to like plan this 120-year event stuff. I've got to make a cracker UFO video for you as well, friends. Richard Dolan. Okay, so Richard Dolan, in one of his interviews, I'd love to interview the good. Maybe I should interview him, friends. I should actually learn how to use the streaming thing. So Dickie Dolan, right? He's a gem UFO researcher. He's been doing this for like 30 years plus. He actually said he has very, very intelligent, credible sources of people who know people who are in, you know, the US Fed, friends. On top of the US Fed, there's the Bank of International Settlements, which is just the money printer for the world. Okay. He's got very credible people. They've got a lot of credible information. They say, you know, higher up, US Fed, Bank of International Settlements, World Economic Forum. He goes, there's non-human intelligence, alien intervention stuff. Now, it could be, there's people actually in there who are just like a walking avatar. Now, we don't know if it's a specific person or anything else. Everyone will like rate him. Hey, check out if he's got an alien penis. You know what I mean? We don't have any of that. But like in terms of probably like the decision making or some weird stuff, people get sent into a trance, because that's actually happened before from world governments. Then the mystery airships. So this is, friends, when I learned this, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so real. There were, do you remember this? The mystery flying ships UFO phenomena was in 1897. Yes. People saw airships in 1987. Now, no. So in 1897, okay? Well, here's the problem. The problem is that the Wright brothers invented the plane 6 years later. That's funny. The Wright brothers, the first dudes to fly. Wait. We had flying airships before we invented flight. Well, obviously, it's UFO ship. They did probably holographic stuff because their timelines are a bit mixed up. They're like, oh, crap. They haven't invented flight yet. We're coming up as airships, right? They looked like, it was funny how they appeared. You know the Navy ships? They were just flying in the sky. But they also look like blimps. So why I'm showing you that story is the US governor. So one of the governors, where there was like thousands and thousands of people who saw it. He came out, and I've got to get the full story, but he came out and he made like a statement, and he said basically nothing's going on, total fabrication, we're all moving on with our lives, nothing to see here, pretty much this, okay? And then later on to his friends and family, I think in a book, he goes, oh yeah, something I never told anybody. That wasn't actually me talking. He goes, that wasn't me talking in front of the camera. Or the news presenter, whatever. He goes, that was not me giving that statement. He goes, I was in a trance. He goes, yeah, something was controlling me. That was not me talking. I couldn't control it. He goes, I was paralyzed, and I was saying words. It wasn't me, actually me. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? He took this, you know, he obviously didn't say it at the start because like it's taboo. Like, how do you explain that to someone? So it's just interesting, right? That's why, friends, I'm seeing all this long-term government and trade stuff out here. I'm going, you guys are all in cahoots, dude. I don't trust any of yous. Michael Chad Saylor has bought 14,000 more BTC worth $1.3 billion. So check out Saylor Tracker if it's updated out here. Yes, it has, friends. His average price is now 69,300. He now has 568,000 BTC. Man, he says he added another $1 billion. Remember, one of my exotic top signals is that once that average price hits 100K, watch out. Okay, it'll be lovely if it like blows the roof off of it as well. I hope it does. That'd be great. If it like, let's say it goes to like 69, 75, 85, I'm talking about the average price of his average price, then 85, 95, then like 100, and it hovers there. And then I hope in like this like 1 or 2 month period at the end, it just accelerates to like 120, 140. And we're like, oh, so it looks like a big blow off. I hope we see something like that, where it just steps, this is big step function. And we're like, okay, now we're getting stupid. All right. So that's what I hope pretty much it comes to. Friends, I got some funny comments from him as well. We'll go through a bit later. Treasury Secretary Bessent says China tariffs could always return to April 2 levels. So it further just emphasizes that Binance CZ was right. This is more just negotiation stuff. They're like, oh, we want what we do. We put the taxes up. No, we put the taxes low. Right? You scratch my back, I scratch your balls. Hey, I didn't sign up for that. Am I getting paid for this? That's the type of stuff going on. President Trump says we achieved a total reset with China. So, friends, I hate to say it, right? But I think the orange man, the strategy worked. Did it not work? Everybody said it was over and he's going to do a recession here. The stock market has reversed and he looks like he's strong against China and he's pretty much, yeah, it's working, friends. He did, it was 15-dimensional chess, wasn't it? We were right. You were right. I just said, look, bro, just trust the plan, man. Just trust the plan. He said he's doing everything and like, man, but it's funny to look back now. We were not thinking that right here. I was saying it. Remember, actually, I was saying it. You're very welcome. I was making so many bullish videos. Friends, I even love you so much. I was making green thumbnail videos down here. I only make green thumbnail videos after we only go up. But I was actually making green videos. I go, look, I'm still bullish. I don't believe this tariff stuff. I go, I don't think the world's going to end because one guy pushes a button against China. I just, something's going to work itself out. It's something's happening and yeah. Guess we're correct. But yeah, that's it. Now the uncertainty's gone. You don't get the cheap discount prices, do you? No, you don't. Luckily, though, if you're in altcoin land, yeah, they are still massively discounted. Huge discount, but we've got to wait for the business cycle, don't we? President Trump says China will suspend non-monetary barriers. And then Trump says, this is hilarious, Europe is nastier than China. Now, I don't know what the context is out here. You know, it could be talking about anything. Yeah, all these people throwing around. It's just, like I say, man, is that media stuff, people will literally latch onto anything just to distract themselves from buying the dip. That's it. They will latch onto it. Everyone does it. They'll do anything but buy the dip. Anything but buy the dip. SEC Chairman Paulie Boo Atkins says his priority is to develop a rational regulatory framework for crypto. Okay, and on the notion of regulatory framework, the only legal coin in crypto outside of Bitcoin is PulseChain. It got legal clarity. It's the only one. Not even Ethereum is legal clarity. Okay, not even it. They just said, oh, you got an ETF and stuff now. No, this is like proper legal clarity. All right, there's actually a court decision out here. Now, of course, we know they're all going to legalize them, but hey, just like, don't think about it from a perspective of, oh, we were right. Who cares about that? No, it's not about this gloating part. What I'm just telling you is, look how wrong the crowd was about PulseChain community. And Hex and PulseX, look how wrong they were in crypto. So wrong. They said it's a scam, it's a Ponzi, it's illegal. Wrong. Friends, not just like mildly wrong. Okay, like you were so wrong, the judge literally gave the trophy to Richard Hart. Okay, he got the top 5% of cases. Yeah? That's how wrong it is, yeah. It's kind of like, friends, you're watching a football match and you say, oh, Team Blue is going to win 1-0. And then Team Red wins 8-0. You're like, no, bro, you just weren't like, you weren't mildly wrong. You were like, you could not be possibly more wrong about this. So I'm just telling you, well, there are probably coin prices we're looking at right now where everyone's totally wrong too. But they only get uncovered as the business cycle goes up, which we're waiting for. SEC Commissioner CryptoMom Hester Pierce. We have our own CryptoMommy. Sophia is our CryptoMommy. Okay? Hester Pierce should be like Auntie Pierce. Auntie Pierce says tokenization cannot reach its full potential without legal clarity. If you're in the legal framework field, God bless you, dude. I don't know how you watch paint dry all day. It is just so boring. My gosh. I don't know. Someone's got to do it. Maybe just pays the bills. I get it. But I fall asleep thinking about it. I don't know how you go to 500 pages of textbooks. By the way, AI is going to be doing your job in like 15 seconds, like really soon anyway. Just like scan the whole textbook and find precedents, right? So, but God bless everybody out there in the legal field. Yeah, just start using Grok. That's all I'll say. Republican tax bill wants to raise the US debt limit by $4 trillion. I agree. Do it. And pump my bags too, sir. I'm all for it. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy says it's setting the standard in the digital era, comparing itself to Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway. Oh man. I'm speechless. I can't rent. Berkshire Hathaway. Do you understand what Berkshire Hathaway does? Friends, you just... Okay. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start. Okay, friends, Berkshire... look, I'll explain to you. Okay. How many companies does Berkshire Hathaway own? They own 70 companies, okay? They own 70 companies, all right? Friends, this is one of those you're getting really cocky, bro. You're getting a bit too arrogant comparing yourself to Berkshire. Friends, Berkshire Hathaway own railway, roads, health insurances, banks, pretty much everything, you know, but they're so diversified. The Berkshire Hathaway stock, you know, just mimics the S&P 500. It's been mimicking it for 25 years because they're just so big. They own everything. They're like, it's literally just an American index, right? So Berkshire Hathaway, friends, is, okay, look, let me put it for you in a way you can understand, okay? Warren Buffett picks companies such that he says, if the stock market, the charts and the stock market stopped for 10 years, it wouldn't affect me. He goes, I wouldn't care. These companies have productive cash flow assets. Okay, they build stuff, they make stuff, they make money, they make cash. Okay, so if you shut down the stock market, he says in examples, he goes, try to buy stuff where we can shut down the stock market for like 10 years and you're not allowed to trade in that period of time. He goes, you got to think about stuff like that. Lots of wisdom in that. Lots of wisdom. By the way, that's why I talk to you in crypto, friends. I channel that energy and I show you, hey, pick crypto with growing network effects. Yeah. Pick crypto where a cult community, no one wants to leave. So they're just going to onboard people as time goes on. Right. Try to look for stuff like that. Where, yeah. And here's the truth, friends. With Hex and PulseChain and stuff out here, I'll be honest, yeah. If you didn't allow us to trade the stock, the coins for a year, I would be totally okay with that. I would be okay. All right. Oh yeah, it'd kill us. What's the price? What's the price? But it would be okay because everyone is in the community. It ain't going away everywhere, bro. All right. Now it's kind of different in crypto because the price chart is the marketing and the heart of everything itself, which is like, that's a skit's funny part. Like it's very hard to explain as well. It's kind of like, there's a football team, but the football team's power is their jersey color. Where you're like, that makes no sense. Your power should be your skill level touching the ball. You're like, no, it's crypto's different, right? It's a network effect. It's linked, you know? But it's true, right? So, and by the way, it's the same thing with Bitcoin, yeah? If Bitcoin and Ethereum, they had no price that you could trade over time, would they keep onboarding and doing stuff? Yeah, they would over the next 10 years, right? Because the money printed is still going to be printed. dApps are still going to get built for Ethereum. You know what I mean? So you've got to think about stuff like that, right? But that's aligning yourself long term. But then you have, say, man, when you see a comment like this, bro, you're just like, man, it's just, you got to like compare owning all these companies, productive cash flow assets and all these other stuff. Yeah, it's Ponzi cash money, but they make stuff. Okay. Compare that to what Michael Saylor's doing. He says, hey, give me money. I'm borrowing it off you. I'm going to go buy this one Ponzi stock called Bitcoin. Yeah. And then next year, I'm going to look for more money and get this revolutionary strategy. I'm going to go buy my Ponzi stock again. There's no comparison, dude. And I'm starting to feel more topsicles from this. I'm getting a bit scared, but I think this is going to, I think it's going to inflame itself. Right, the new man. Can we imagine? Remember, the Economist Magazine. Okay, they're usually good markers of tops and bottoms. So I wonder if like they put the Economist like MicroStrategy, the new Berkshire Hathaway. Imagine that's like at Bitcoin 250K, right? Imagine that happens. Bitcoin 250K, and then Michael Saylor's average price is like 150. If man, that'd be crazy if we saw something like that, right? And then they're writing MicroStrategy, the new modern company, right? We saw something like that. I'm like, bro, do you literally understand what they do? They're literally just doing leverage. They literally just borrow money and they buy one thing. And that thing is not actually a stock company. There's no cash flow in it. You understand? It's a commodity. It's a pseudo commodity. It trades at whatever the hell it wants to trade at that day. Okay. So that doesn't mean it goes to zero tomorrow. I'm just telling you, if it's at 250K, it can trade at 70K. It can trade for months and months and months and months. And your investors who you say, can't do anything against you, guess what, bro? They're human. They can get the pitchforks out. They can force some liquidation somewhere. Right. So we are getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but remember, we've been going down for so long. This is what Fences actually makes. This is how George Soros, what makes him one of the greatest, even though he's an evil satanic CUNT, but this is what makes him one of the greatest. You truly understand markets. So you don't want to just fade contrarian like straight away. Okay. You need it to brew, right? You need it to cook. That's what we need. It's got to be a great cook. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says his goal is to make New York City the crypto capital of the globe. And then we have Coinbase is going to join the S&P 500. This is big news, man. Coinbase doing that. Because we might see at the top of this cycle, friends, Donald Trump, he wants crypto to be quite the industry leader by America. So with that we're going to probably see IPO, which is not we're quite calling ICO. IPO, initial poop offering, where they give retailers a very expensive dog shit share price to buy, so they get dumped on the stock market. You might see Kraken do it as well. So we see these American companies just try to get listed on the stock market, do the IPO. That might mark the tops of these, right? Extreme amounts. You might actually find as well when XRP peaks at like $8 or $9 or $10 at its highest fib, that Ripple does the IPO. It launches the IPO. It does it by the end of the year or something. And it is, man, it'd be wild if that happens, dude, because Ripple's income is dumping their stock, which is dumping their tokens to the community. That's their income. That's how they have $1 billion on their assets. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to make business decisions. Like they tried to buy USDC. They try to give him like a $4 billion bid or something. It's stupid. I think the thing's worth $16 billion. But yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to like just buy stuff. But it's, yeah, like you dump on everybody with the tokens over the time, and now you're trying to acquire stuff. So we'll see how it plays out. Especially you're learning crypto as well. You can't just buy shit. It just doesn't work, man. You need a community. Yeah, you can't just go acquire things. It just doesn't work. I don't know what, just like we're cults, man. You can't just go, let's go replace a cult leader. You know what I mean? Like imagine Justin Sun tried to replace Richard Hart. They switched places. They bought each other's thing. They did a swap. It's about the people following them. It's a digital nation, man. You have a digital president. Richard Hart is the digital president of PulseChain. Justin Sun, the digital president of Tron. Charles Cuckinson, the digital president of Cardano. There's digital presidents everywhere, right? So, Vitalik, Lord, digital president of it, because we're all digital nations, digital passports. It's the community gives it the network effect, the value. So anything that like hampers it, for example, like totally different to a stock. Whoever owns a stock, it could be one person, could be a million people, doesn't change the value of the company whatsoever. The company totally different, meant to be, right? They just make stuff. For example, if one dude owned McDonald's, or 1 million African priests owned McDonald's, it wouldn't matter. The actual stock, yeah? Because McDonald's still sells you the burgers. Juicy, nice Big Mac burgers, right? Totally different. The customers are different, like no one really cares, right? But in crypto, the owners and the users are the same, right? It's the same. It's a blend. Michael Saylor says Coinbase being added to the stock market is a major milestone for Bitcoin. So what does he really mean by that? Well, look, it just means like Coinbase have a lot of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, just that they own by assets. They don't actually own too much, I think, heaps. How much BTC does Coinbase own? Let's just check it out. They have 9,200 BTC themselves. Just to let you know, they have 1.1 million. They have like 5 or 7% of the total Bitcoin supply. There's only like 14 million if you remove all the lost ones, I think 14 million BTC. So if they have 1 on 14, they have 7% of the supply. Yeah, man, they could literally send it to zero if they really wanted to. And of course, they're so heavily regulated they won't. So we've got nothing to worry about there. Now, baby dolls, where do we go from here? Well, PulseChain prices have a quick refresh out here. Nothing's been moving because we had a bit of a down candle. Nothing else really to report. Reds and greens, reds and greens. Nothing else really to go through. But where are we going to go from here? Let's check out the price chart. Remember, this is BCB thinks the end game comes soon. And so, you know, we do some sort of jittery, and then we do the final rise up to about 120K, and he thinks it's literally all over after that point. Now, obviously, I don't know anything. Uncle Bobby also believes that when we go up, we are by like August. See right here, this is the August chart. When we go up here, by August, we've like stopped. Okay, like the cycle ends. Now you don't know how long it goes, but the part cycle kind of peaks for that 60-day part. So I don't know what's going to happen, but remember that others BTC, yeah. If we got a standard, if we just got 3 months of green, that's nothing. That's like, okay, Mawai, Juni, and Julie, that's nothing. But we're going to have to see, obviously, August and Rectember, what they are, right? If they keep continually, because no one thinks they're going to have any chance of going up again. Imagine the altcoins do keep going up. And remember, Bitcoin can go nowhere, but the altcoins could still go up. That's counted in the euphoria, just to let you know. That's actually the true euphoria when you think about it, because Bitcoin's not moving and these things are just disconnecting. But no one's really going to think about it that way, right? Because we want longer and longer. But we'll see. Also, friendly reminder, if we just run up from here every single month for 6 months, so Mawai, Juni, August, Rectember, October. All right, so 6 months or 7 months, October, November. That's if, big if literally others BTC just have every single green month in a row, we smash out, we finish out October, November, which is actually where the 4-year cycle is expected to finish if you did the 4-year cycle, okay, the peak. So that would be a bit of a puzzle piece to navigate through, but we'll see. You know, we haven't even finished this month, so let's not worry about that till we'll come later on. If we do get that perhaps extended cycle, if we get a reset, friends. So I mean, 2 things are going to happen, right? Either we go up, you know, 2 or 3 months, and then we reset. We go, okay, cool, probably moving into next year. Yeah, because that reset will be, what, another 2-3 months, and then you got to reset again, right? But if we just keep running up, that's going to make it a bit tough. Then if we do keep running up, right, I will be reminding everyone, I'll be doing like warning signs for everyone right here. Let's look at others BTC. If we are running up, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If we're on the 4th green candle, I'll just be telling everyone, look, we've had 2 peaks after 6 candles, 1 peak after 5. So I'll be saying, hey man, like technically you could be taking profit. I don't want to hear any whinging if we go to 0 after this point. All right. I know no one is going to be doing it, by the way, because it might be so low. But I will be reminding anyone, my duty of care, right? Not that I'm responsible for anyone. I'm just be telling everyone, hey man, like it's 4 green monthly candles. You know, if we get the 5th green monthly candle, you're like, okay, you have to do something. Get your Jeet stack out, maybe cover yourself, because if it actually stops there and resets for another 6 to 9 months, it's going to feel a lot of pain. Because you're going to have all your family members going, man, now it's 4.5, 5 years. Now you've waited 5 years, you haven't made money, you know what I mean? So you don't want to go through that. But I guess we'll see how it all plays out, right? Like, subscribe, bitty button, or catch you soon.